All right, folks, it is Friday. It is time for the Godly Trading. You know, I've been thinking about making an extended trading session on Friday afternoon. It's called the Godly Trading Hour, sort of Godly Trading morning swing day trading room. But I've got to talk to the IT department about that. Thank you for being here. We're going to jump into all of the trades we have going on and this concept between day trading and daily trading. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. By the way, I'm here at home at the mothership, which means we have Starlink overhead and trees that are filling in. So if I start sputtering, just bear with me. I see Instagram is kind of sputtering here. Anyway, so thank you for being here. Let's dive in with what we always start with, which is our verse of the day. This really jumped out at me recently, this entire concept when it comes to not messing with your trades, when it comes to set it and forget it. You know, follow your rules, follow your setups, and whatever happens is out of your control. So this is from 2 Chronicles 20, and God has someone stand up and say, hey, Jehoshaphat, don't worry, do not be afraid nor dismayed, but because of the great multitude, the battle is not yours. And I love this. And think about this for your trading. You will not need to fight this battle. Position yourselves. Isn't that what we do in trading? We position ourselves. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Now, let me ask you a question. How many of you find it easy to set it and forget it, let it go, and let whatever happens, to essentially stand still? That is one of the hardest lessons to learn in trading, which is trust your process, trust your setups, trust everything, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and don't lean on your own understanding. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. And he's been saying this over and over again. I saw it earlier in Exodus today. So when it comes to most of what we do, it is follow your setups, follow your procedures, follow your rules, and just do what they say. Send it, and let whatever happens. All right. Before we get into showing you how I am trading Forest, both daily and as a day trade, all right, it's one strategy. I'm day trading it, and I'm daily chart trading it. Before we get there, I'm going to show you this on Frank, because Frank is really versatile. And here, maybe this is one of the easy ways to remember this. Frank is for Frankenstein because it's dead simple. Frankenstein's, by the way, it's actually Frankenstein's monster. The monster doesn't have a name, but anyway, Frankenstein is kind of this tall, lumbering monster. By the same token, we find that this particular strategy works best. It works fine everywhere else, but it works best on the higher time frames. Daily chart, it is money. Daily chart, hang on, I never use that phrase. Daily chart, it works really well. Weekly chart, and I know you're all thinking, what weekly chart? Yes, I'm going to show you. It's Friday, right? So today we're getting our signals for Frank on the weekly chart. My buddy Rolando trades on the weekly chart. But I don't want to. I'm not saying only trade the weekly chart. I'm saying if it's going to take you an extra 5 minutes and it can get you an extra 3% in a month, why wouldn't you? So before we get there, this is Frank on the daily chart. We're in Aussie Swiss. We've been in this thing for almost a month, and it's basically gone almost nowhere. We almost got out. It didn't hit our take profit, and now it's fallen back, and we're a little bit negative on this. It's just going sideways. Frank is a momentum strategy, and pretty much the momentum is gone here. So I don't have a rule to get out, but I have a reason to get out. However, Euro Swiss has come down and has almost hit our first take profit. So that one's a good one. And then we are also in a daily chart trade of hang on, I went to the wrong thing, on Verizon. And let's see what happened today. Exactly nothing. I got in at 51.10 and it's currently at 51.12, so nothing's happened on Verizon. All right, let me go back and show you what Frank looks like on the weekly chart. So let's just switch over, and I know a lot of you are like, I don't want to trade the weekly chart. Just bear with me. Just let me show you what 5 minutes a week will get you if you just let it, right? Set it and forget it. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. All right, here's silver on the weekly chart. Here's your signal. There's your winning trade. Here's your signal. There's your winning trade. Here's a signal. That one probably was a winning trade. Bitcoin. Look at this one. Here's your signal candle. What is that? 1, 2, almost 3 to 1, 4 to 1 winning trade. Again, the weekly chart. What does it mean to trade the weekly chart? It means once a week you look at it. Can you find 7 minutes once a week to manage this trade? I think you can. In order to get an extra couple of percent a month, why wouldn't you? In this debate between swing trading and day trading, people say one versus the other. Now, I have an opinion about which one people should, if you're struggling as a trader, which one you should reach for first as a means of the shortest path to success, the shortest path to consistency. But there's no reason you shouldn't do all of them. Trading strategies, trading timeframes, trading styles, they're all just tools. They're a hammer versus a screwdriver versus a pair of pliers. Whatever the job needs, you got them all in your toolbox. Use them all. So Bitcoin, here's a winning trade. Aussie CAD, there's your signal. There's your winning trade. Here's your signal and a winning trade. Here's a signal that you probably would have still been in. That would have been a losing trade. Aussie New Zealand, look, signal, winning trade. Signal, winning trade. Signal probably was a winning trade. Swiss yen. By the way, these other ones, I looked through them and didn't see any setups on them. Signal, winning trade. Signal, winning trade. Signal, trade did not trigger. Was not a losing trade. You didn't get triggered in that trade. That's what I love about this strategy. And I know we're gonna get to the day trading versus daily trading here in a second. I think I have it on Euro Swiss. Yeah, I had several. Signal, winning trade. Signal, no trade. That was it on that one. Euro yen. Signal, winning trade. Signal, no trade. Euro Kiwi, and I'm belaboring the point at this point, but you know, signal, winning trade. Signal, winning trade. Signal, winning trade. Euro US, signal, no trade. It keeps you out of a trade that would have gone against you. So today is the day. Well, actually, you've got this is the beauty of trading Frank on the weekly time frame. You have all weekend to look at it, and it's going to take you 7 minutes to look at all these pairs and get a trade, because the trade setup is dead simple. I'm not saying drop everything and trade Frank on the weekly chart. I'm saying add weekly chart trading of Frank to whatever it is you're already doing. Why not? All right. Now, time for day trading versus daily trading. Let me show you. I'm going to have to rename this particular strategy from Forest to Rolando, because this strategy came, this version of Forest, this method of trading Forest came from my buddy Rolando, which is simply this. He starts on the 1 hour time frame on all of his charts and looks and says, hey, what do we have? Well, we have a short, right? Let me get rid of this so we can make it slightly larger. And this is Forest on the 1 hour time frame. So okay. Right now it's saying we're putting in new lows, and so we're looking to get into 30. But before we do anything else, let's dive up. You can't dive up, can you? Let's jump up to the daily chart. Let's see what the overall longer trend move is. It's down. All right, so we're only looking to go short. So now let's try to find some setups somewhere looking short. 8 hour chart. Well, we had a long strategy, so now we're waiting on a dot to go short. It's not there, so nothing to do here yet. So now the 4 hour time frame. Okay, well, this was our first dot. Here, okay, I'm talking about here's our last dot. Here's our short. There's our entry. We missed it. All right, let's jump down to the 1 hour time frame. Okay. Here was our long. So here was our short. There was our entry. We missed it. Down to the 30-minute. Here we go. All right. So we were in a long. Now we got a signal to go short. So now, by the way, I'm gonna go ahead and do this live in front of you. I have a I'll have to figure that out. I've got an EA that basically once I've decided to enter, I just drop it on the screen and it monitors the trade for me and enters at the 30. I don't have to do anything. I just drop this robot on the chart, tell it, hey, when price hits the 30, get me in short. And it does it. It's fantastic. I've also got one that, like, for instance, let me show you. I color code these. So I'm in this pound. No, I'm out of the pound US. Give me 1 second. I'm in this US yen trade long. So now I have an EA that I dropped on the chart that says, hey, if we ever get an opposite signal, exit me out of this trade. It's just a trade management robot did for me. So I don't have to be here all the time. It's a time saver. So that's what Rolando does. That's what I'm doing. You go to a chart, and the first thing you do is say, where are we looking for? What's the daily trend telling us? Because when you are trading, when you are entering a trade with the possibility of lasting more than a couple of hours, you need to consider the daily trend, because that's what BlackRock is doing. It's what the Bank of England is doing. The big boys are out there just pushing price in a particular direction. You don't want to run against them. You're going to get squished by running up against BlackRock. So find out where BlackRock is going and go with them. I said BlackRock so many times, I'm sure YouTube's going to probably strike me for that. So if your trade has the potential to last more than today, always check the daily trend first and don't fight it. If there is no daily trend, don't get into it. If there's no daily trend, drop down to a momentum strategy. So there's basically two ways any trade can go. You can go with the trend, or you can go with momentum. Momentum can absolutely run counter to trend, but only on a small time frame. How am I going to know if my trade's going to last for today, or how am I know it's going to be a day trade or a swing trade? By and large, if you're entering a trade above the 15 minutes, it's a swing trade. All right, you can't really expect that thing to get to where you're going in one day. Even a 15-minute is going to be sort of straddling the line. I've had 15-minute trades that lasted a day. I've had them last 2 days, 3 days. Which means if you're entering a day trade, make sure momentum's on your side if you absolutely do not want to hold it overnight. So let me now jump down, same exact strategy, same everything, my day trading setup. For this one, I'm not looking at trend, I'm looking at momentum. So I was trading NDX this morning. I was in with Isaac's Trading Room this morning. If you're not a member of Isaac's Trading Room, just drop the comment Isaac, ISAAC, in the chat, and I will send you a link to Isaac's Trading Room. I should warn you, he's the most optimistic, upbeat guy I've ever met, right? If you are not a morning person, beware, because he is. He wakes up in the morning with a smile on his face, ready to go. And if you're old like me, you need a nap afterwards. But anyway, if you want a link to his trading room, let me know, and I'll send you a copy of it. So NDX, this is the Forex version of the NASDAQ. If you could trade, you could trade the triple Qs if you wanted to. You could trade NQ futures. It's all the same thing. This is technically, well, here on the Darwin X prop firm, this is technically USTEC, US Tech. But anyway, NASDAQ is what I'm trading. And this morning I was looking, oh, the trade over with? Am I out? I'm almost out. I'm not looking at trend, I'm looking at momentum. So this morning I come into and I'm basing momentum on the 1 hour chart. That's as high as I go. So this morning I go in here and look at it. Okay, I jumped in here at 6 a.m. Central. And momentum was this was the candle I looked at. All right, so let me get rid of some stuff on the chart for you so that I'm not going to confuse everybody. Let me get rid of that. I hope that's not too confusing. I got a couple moving averages there. So this morning I'm coming in at 15 minus 8 is 7. So I guess I'm probably somewhere in this neighborhood. I'm looking at this candle. I'm thinking, oh, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red candles, and this doji, the momentum is down. So this is the direction I'm going. I'm going to get in on a short. I'm not looking to go long. All of the momentum all night long has been to the downside. Now, I don't get in on a breakout by and large. I get in on a pullback. So I want this thing to bounce up and hit the 30, which it did. I believe. Well, I believe it did. I may have gotten in on the 30-minute time frame, not the 1 hour. But anyway, the Forest strategy says get in on the, well, after you get these new dots, get in on pullback, which I did. And you said, well, you're going short, but you have these two big giant red blue candles. Well, that's the nature of a pullback. I waited for all this momentum to die out, bounce, and then my plan of action is, hey, chances are the original momentum is going to continue. Am I still in this trade? No, I'm out of this trade. Okay. I don't see my other, hang on. If you use MT5, every once in a while, you've got to turn trade history off and back on again. There we go. Okay, I'm out of this trade. That's a nice trade. So I find the momentum on the 1 hour chart, and then I start looking for good places to get in elsewhere. And I use supply and demand to help me just sort of put guardrails around my trade. You know, I look and I see I'm getting in right here, and oh, this is it. I got it on the 15-minute chart. I don't know why that was on. So that's why, because I get it on the 30-minute, on the 30 EMA here on the 15-minute chart. So we had all this downward momentum. I said, okay, great. I'm only taking a short. I'm getting in at the 30, which I did. I got in, and it created an overhead supply. So I'm thinking, well, that's fantastic. Now I've got all of my, because my stop was up here. Stop was right up here. And I had all of this downward pressure and all of this, you know, if you're a support and resistance guy, you're gonna have a resistance line somewhere in this neighborhood. Supply and demand, it's all the same thing. Protecting my stop. And then I do what we just read about in 2nd Chronicles. It's also there in Exodus, I think chapter 12 or 14. Stand and watch. The battle is not yours. I said it and I forget it. I put my trade on. There's nothing else I can do. I positioned myself. Now it's time to stand and watch. And this trade took, this is that 1 hour. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours this trade took. Okay. I'm okay with that. And if it had lasted till Monday, big deal. So one strategy, and I could trade it up on the daily chart. And if I'm doing that, or if I'm trading it on the 4 hour, the 8 hour, whatever, wherever I can find the best looking setup, somewhere between there, I am absolutely only going in the direction of daily, possibly even weekly trend. What is the trend? Down on a day trading usage of this strategy, I'm looking for momentum. Because momentum can run counter to trend. I don't care what this is. Yeah, if this trade looked like it was going to last longer than today, and let's say that for whatever reason the daily trend on NASDAQ is up, I'm getting out at the end of the day because I don't want to swing trade against the daily trend, and so I'll only momentum trade against. I hope did that make sense to everybody? The difference between momentum and trend, and when you use one versus the other. And so this is why I say that these are all just tools that you can have one strategy and you can use it on any product. You can use it on any time frame. Just test it, but also find a way to make it work for you. Find a way to make it work into your lifestyle. And do it all. If you have the ability to, do it all. By the way, if anyone has any questions on what I've just shown you with the Forest strategy, with the Frank strategy, let me know. If you want a copy of Frank, just drop the word Frank into the comments. If you want a copy of Forest, do I have Forest written down as a PDF? You know what? I'll make it happen. If you want a copy of the Forest strategy, type the word Forest into the chat or the comments, and I will do my best to get that to you as well. Trading is trading. Price action is price action. That's why the best strategies are simple. If you've got something that only works on Tesla, on the 10-minute chart, yeah, maybe it's working for you. But if you can't use it somewhere else, it's really limited. But if I can take what's essentially 2 moving averages and find a way to get it on a pullback, that's a system and a strategy I can use whenever and wherever, because everything moves in waves. I was going to show you where I am on my prop firm challenge, but it's not letting me log in right now. I don't know why, but And then over on my Darwin X accounts, I'll show you those wrap ups probably on how we've done so far this week, as soon as I can log into those as well on Monday. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat on the Forrest strategy, the Frank strategy, why I'm doing either one of those, how I picked the NQ versus the whatever. By the way, now that you mention it, now that I mention it, down here in the day trading, in my day trading setup here, sorry, my brain went blank. You see, I'm trading the NQ. Here's what I trade in the mornings. I trade gold, I trade NASDAQ, and I trade S&P 500. In the afternoons, I trade all of that. I trade all 28 Forex pairs plus silver and gold and oil. Why? Well, because it takes me 15 to 20 minutes to go through all of my pairs twice a day, maybe once a day, depending on my schedule, because it's moving slow. I don't have that luxury in the morning. I'm going to limit myself to 3 things, because how am I going to pick between CAD yen and pound Swiss in the mornings? I'm going to pick things that are, for lack of a better term, self-contained. The NASDAQ, the S&P, gold. I could throw oil in here if I wanted to. Oil is pretty volatile, especially at the open. I don't like day trading oil. Trump can tweet and oil can just go nuts. So I don't like I don't mind swing trading oil, but I don't like day trading oil. I could absolutely trade silver in here. By the way, I like to compare gold and silver to NASDAQ and S&P. They both basically move in the same directions, just with different volatility. So gold and the S&P are sort of the leaders, and they move more slowly. Silver and NASDAQ more or less follow their big brothers, but they're all over the map in the process. Gold will go, hang on, you can't see what I'm doing here. Gold will up like that. Silver's doing this, all right? Same thing. S&P's doing this, NASDAQ's doing this. If you're a day trader and you want to catch those moves, silver and NASDAQ are probably better for you than S&P and gold. I like to trade those 4 things in the morning just to simplify. I cannot stress enough how simplifying your system, not just your strategy, but your overall trading system, your overall trading plan. Your trade plan, by the way, we're wrapping up our Trading for Family Freedom Challenge tonight. And the whole point of that is to show you the importance of and the way to building your own trade plan for yourself. Both strategy, but your trade plan is how you live your life as a trader, not just your entries and exits. And I have no idea where I was going with that. But your trade plan should be simple. Look to constantly simplify. And yeah, Isaac, he said that the NAS is so volatile, he loves it though. That's one of the hallmarks of a simple system, is when you learn how to do something enough that you are familiar with it like it's an old friend, right? Isaac's been trading the NASDAQ for quite some time now. He understands how it moves. I was talking to one of our guys in our community, JJ, this morning, and he says he noticed that, I think it was NASDAQ, or maybe an S&P, always does this. What was the term he used? London sweep. I think it was NASDAQ. It always has it. So it's London sweep at a certain time. And he's just learned it in and out. I kind of feel like that with me and gold, that I've been trading enough. I just sort of know what to expect out of it. Best advice I could ever give anybody is, if you're struggling with consistency, pick one thing, one market, one product, one strategy, one time frame, and do nothing else for a solid month, but do that day in and day out. Consistency is 4 steps, doing the same thing, the same way, the same time, every time. Get consistent at one thing. Tom Colicchio, the head judge on Top Chef, said it this way, and I loved it. All right, do one thing and do it well. Can you eventually trade all 28 Forex pairs? Sure. Can you eventually trade NASDAQ and the Japanese 225 and the London, the UK 100? Sure, but don't start there. I'm not going to juggle in front of you. But if you eventually want to juggle flaming chainsaws, fantastic. Start off juggling beanbags. Can you start your juggling career juggling flaming chainsaws? Yeah, sure. Why would you want to? Can you start off your day trading career trading the NASDAQ on the tick chart? Yeah. Don't. Trade something a little bit slow. So that's it for today, guys. Next week we are going to we're going to have some announcements about what we've got going forward, and I'll show you the wrap up of what this week looked like. Don't sleep on Frank. Frank is amazing. Frank is one of the best complementary strategies that there is. Go out there this weekend and take a look at what you can find on Frank on the weekly chart. If you need a copy of it, just drop the word Frank. I'll email it to you. It's just dead simple. It's just this one moving average and an engulfing candle. That's it. That's all there is to it. It's the most dead simple strategy, and it works beautifully on the weekly chart. And yeah, it's like watching paint dry, but who cares? Do it and forget about it for a week. I'm rambling. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see y'all next week.